There
Okay. Yeah, and you'll see in the top left corner, there's a little blinking red icon.
Yeah, I'm gonna pop. Look at my cheat sheet. There we go. Hi, and welcome to the Sierra Club Huron Valley Group's monthly program for April 2021, the Winter That Just Won't Die edition. As they say, if you don't like the weather in Michigan, just wait 5 minutes. We are the Sierra Club Group, the Huron Valley Group that represents Washtenaw, Monroe, and Lenawee counties. My name is Dan Ezekiel. I'm the program chair for this group. And the Sierra Club is the nation's oldest and largest environmental group. Our motto is explore, enjoy, and protect the wild places of the planet. If you aren't already a member, please join at sierraclub.org. I think it costs $15 for a year. This is our first meeting using the Zoom platform. We've joined the rest of the world finally in using the Zoom platform. And I want to thank Jamie McGarrah for facilitating our move to Zoom. And also he is staffing Blue Jeans and shooting people over here. So I'm sorry if anybody had to go on a circuitous route to get to our meeting. Let's start by taking a moment to honor those whom we've lost from COVID and their family members and people who have been sick. Let's think about those who have lost someone or our essential workers and our first responders, and also those who are in need or hungry or homeless or jobless, afraid of losing their home or their job, and those who fear violence in their communities, including those who fear police violence. Thank you. So Jason Frenzel, who's the chair of our group, is here. So I'd like to give him a chance to say a few words.
Great to have everybody here, as always. And thank you, Dan, for always putting together an amazing program, and really excited about hearing from Paityns. I'm always intrigued by the ever-evolving different set of group folks that come to these meetings. Just each topic draws in different people, and I think that's a really special place for the Sierra Club to be for the community. We have our lovely niche, and it's great to be here. I would make sure that everybody knows that we have an advocacy arm and a fundraising arm. So if you're intrigued by those concepts, please reach out to Dan or myself, or just hit us up on social media. Thanks, Dan.
Okay. We are working with 3 other Sierra Club groups to coordinate publicity for our online programs. Our neighbors to the north, the Crossroads group and the Nipissing group, as well as our neighbors to the east, the Southeast Michigan group. So we all said we'd give each other a chance to say hi. Is there anyone here from Crossroads? Going once, going twice. Nipissing? Or Southeast Michigan? Okay, we'll just not worry about that. We like to share wins with you at this meeting, and I have several I'm delighted to tell you about. First of all, last month's program, Backyard Birds by Lee Burton, was our most well-attended in many years. We had at least 75 devices tuned in for that great program all at the same time, so thank you for that. And I also want to talk about some fundraising wins. The Huron Valley Group, like many other nonprofits, operated at a loss last year. Our budget is very small, but continuing to operate at a loss isn't sustainable. So we have a group that's meeting to develop various ways to set us back to sustainable path. And our new executive committee member, Jessica Ankley, is leading the effort. I'm part of the committee too. And if you have any suggestions or want to participate, we would love to hear from you. And our effort bore fruit in 2 ways over the past month. First of all, we had a great online version of pub trivia last Friday evening as fundraiser for HVG. And we cleared several $100s, and it was our first revenue positive event since the Ann Arbor Art Fair of 2019. More importantly, it was so much fun that we're already planning the next one, either live or virtual next October, probably with a special focus on environment-related questions. So stay tuned for that. Also, on the fundraising and branding front, we just completed the submission period of a competition for a design for Huron Valley gear like t-shirts. We had a lot of terrific submissions, and we're in the process of firming up our selection of the winning design, and I will present it to you next month. After that, you'll be able to order your stylish HVG garb and help keep the lights on here at the Huron Valley Group. When you make a donation to one of our fundraisers, you're helping to pay for things like chocolate for tired hikers on one of our outings, Red Cross training for outings leaders, postage for Get Out the Vote mailings, or dinner for our expert presenters once our programs go back to being in person. Speaking of being back in person, by the way, I already promised Payton that she gets a rain check. We'll take her out to dinner when the pandemic is over, because we usually always took our presenters out to dinner before their show. Speaking of going back to in person, we've been grappling with the question of whether we want to go back in a hybrid way when we're allowed, and both have our in-person meeting at the Botanical Gardens, but also to broadcast live like we're doing right now. And I'd love to have your opinions about that. Just put it in the chat or shoot me an email. Okay. I also want to tell you about an emerging environmental issue. This is one that we have not actually taken a position on officially yet, but I feel comfortable bringing it up because Superior Township Supervisor Ken Schwartz brought this issue to our first IPSI night program back in November of 2019 and asked for our help. And now the issue is suddenly coming to a head. Jason, if I'm getting out of line here, just mute me. During the waning days of the last governor's administration in 2018, the lame duck legislature gave a big political donor in Salem Township in Washtenaw County tens of millions of our tax dollars to build a housing development there in Northeast Washtenaw County. Now the developer wants to build a sewer running south down Gottfriedson Road all the way to Ypsilanti across neighboring Superior Township, which is east of Ann Arbor. Superior Township is right on the border with Wayne County, and if it wasn't for their concerted effort to retain the agricultural character of their township north of Getty's Road, especially the so-called Superior Greenway, we would have a sea of Canton-like suburban sprawl stretching from Detroit west beyond Ann Arbor. One way Superior has prevented this is by banning sewers north of Getty's. The Gottfriedson sewer would open up large parts of Superior to unwanted sprawl development in violation of their township master plan. The Superior Greenway is a haven for unusual birds such as short-eared owls, Henslow sparrows, bluebirds, dickcissels, and many others, including a whole suite of rare or endangered grassland birds. Today, the Superior Township Board of Trustees voted unanimously to decline to allow the sewer, but this controversy is going to wind up in court. And I'm sure the township will appreciate all our efforts to learn about the issue and speak up against the sewer and in favor of Superior Township's effort to control its own development. You'll hear there's no action item right now. I mean, they acted today. They turned down the sewer unanimously. This came up pretty suddenly. But keep your ears open and learn more about this. All right. This is the part of the meeting where I ask a few people to introduce yourself and tell us why you came. So just jump right in. Who's here and why'd you join us tonight? Lots of new faces.
I guess I'll go. My name's Tony Pitts. I normally attend the Sierra Crossroads group meetings, and I'm a outings leader there. But I guess I'm on both meetup groups, and the topic tonight seemed interesting, and so here I am.
We're so glad you joined us, Tony. Who else is here?
I'll go. I'm Patty Richardson, and I am here. I was invited by Peyton's mom. I was one of Peyton's high school biology teachers and actually traveled with her to the Galapagos. So I'm here to support Peyton and hear what she's been up to.
That's so awesome.
My name is Christy Butler, and I was also invited by Peyton's mom to hear what Peyton had to say about her global travels. She was a former student of mine and traveled to the Galapagos with us in 2015.
Wow. We got to get people's moms more involved in the publicity for our meetings. That's for sure. Thank you, Peyton's mom and teacher.
Can you all hear me?
Yes.
Okay, good. I'm Gloria Caldwell, and I just joined the Crossroads about a week ago. And this actually is my first event. So now I have a question for you. I joined and I paid the money. Does that mean I'm just in Crossroads, or am I in Huron Valley?
So that's a great question. And you belong to whatever group covers your geographic area. So you belong to Crossroads, but we love having you. We love having you at our meeting, and you're welcome to participate in any of our activities too.
Thank you. And what's your name? You've been so good to me.
My name?
Yeah.
I'm Dan Ezekiel. It's there on my.
Oh, okay. Oh, now I see it. Thank you, Dan, for helping me get on.
Thank you for coming. All right. So we're about to get to the main part of the show. I want to say something about next month's program. It's an important one. Dr. Missy Stoltz of the City of Ann Arbor Office of Sustainability and Innovation. She's going to be presenting an update on the A20 plan. The A20 plan is Ann Arbor's incredibly ambitious effort to become carbon neutral by 2030. She'll tell us about the plan's progress, its challenges, and its opportunities. It'll be right here at the same link, the Zoom link, and the same time, Tuesday, May 18th, 7:30 to 9 p.m. And as a sneak preview, our June program is going to be about the effort to stop the DNR from holding a wolf hunt here in Michigan.
Yes, good.
Dr. Tyson, whose name is escaping me right now, but she's an expert on this, and she'll be addressing us in June. Okay, this month's program is super special, as you already know. Paityn Wedder is the leader of the new student group, the U of M Sierra Club, which I'm wearing their sweatshirt. From hiking with mountain gorillas in Uganda to spending a semester of high school in the Bahamas to working with great white sharks with National Geographic in Cape Town. Happily for her, sadly for us, Paityn graduates U of M next month, and she will be leaving us for graduate studies at Northeastern University.
Oh.
So congratulations in advance for your graduation, Paityn, and you take it away.
All right, thank you, Dan. I'm going to share my screen. Okay, can everyone see that?
I could see the writing. Is that what we should be seeing?
Yep. Yeah, I have a slideshow presentation.
Okay.
All right, so yeah, like what Dan just said, my name is Paityn Wedder. I am the current president of the Sierra Club at the University of Michigan. I'm a senior. I'm graduating in less than 2 weeks with a Bachelor of Science in Environmental Science and then a minor in Geology. And I'm going to talk about my environmental travels so far. So my decision to pursue environmental science in college was strongly influenced by my previous outdoor experiences that developed my passion for ecological conservation. So beginning in 2009, I was accepted to Goodwillie Environmental School, which is a 5th and 6th grade environmental educational program in Grand Rapids, Michigan. It allows young students to focus their studies on the natural world. So my time throughout those 2 years consisted of non-traditional education methods, that jump-started my unwavering love for the environment. So while I was there, we ate lunch outside every day. We wrote in phenology journals outside, no matter if it was sunny, raining, or snowing. And our recess consisted of playing in a nearby field instead of on a playground. And our days were filled with activities such as creating bug collections, building a traditional birch bark canoe. We built a log cabin barn, and we even raised chickens and had our own egg business for our parents. And I'm really thankful that I was able to go to Goodwillie during these transformative years, because that's what started my passion for the environment. So because Goodwillie was so unique, my classmates and I were used to having frequent visitors, especially alumni that returned to talk about their future environmental endeavors with us. And one day when I was in 5th grade, a high school student returned to talk to our class about his experience at a place called the Galapagos Islands School. And that's a semester-long study abroad program in Eleuthera, the Bahamas. And he talked to us about his scuba diving adventures, how he got to work with a PhD student on an oceanic research project, a week he spent sea kayaking, and much more. And I was captivated instantly. Even though I was 11 and I had years before I would be able to apply, I knew from that moment in 5th grade that I was going to attend the island school. So before I went there, I got to travel to the Galapagos Islands with Miss Butler and Mrs. Richardson, who are here tonight, and then a group of my classmates. And we were able to visit the Charles Darwin Research Station, which is on the island of Santa Cruz and is overseen by the Charles Darwin Foundation. And this research station raises tortoises to increase their population on the islands, and is one of the first places in the world to implement giant tortoise conservation programs. And my classmates and I also spent time hiking around the island. We were able to swim with wild green sea turtles and sea lions, and just enjoy all of the nature that the Galapagos Islands have to offer. So that was the summer before my junior year of high school. So after returning from the Galapagos Islands, as a 16-year-old, I set off alone on a plane to study marine biology with 50 other students from across the United States and the Bahamas. I couldn't believe that the moment I had been waiting for since I was a 5th grader had finally come. I had just anticipated it for so long, but once again, I didn't really know what to truly expect. As soon as we got to campus, we had to hand in our cell phones and kiss our normal lives goodbye. We were only allowed 20 minutes a week to call home on a landline, and we were also not given any internet access. So all 50 of us were just spending every moment with one another, and we all became best friends just as a result of our shared interests and experiences. And some of the cool things I got to do. So while I was at the island school, I got to be a green sea turtle research assistant to a PhD student at a place called the Cape Eleuthera Institute. And our team used acoustic telemetry to determine how environmental fluctuations and individual size affected juvenile green sea turtle habitat usage patterns in shallow tidal foraging grounds. So while I was there, we tagged 12 turtles, and we continuously mapped their locations using GPS and ArcGIS software throughout the duration of the project. And then after studying the effects of predation, foraging opportunities, and the habitat characteristics of the area, we were able to present our final research to Bahamian government officials so that improved conservation methods could be implemented in the areas of Eleuthera that were most heavily populated by the sea turtles. While I was there, I was also fortunate enough to partner with someone named Michael Cortina. He is the director of the Center for Sustainable Development. This facility is centered around environmental management and creating and testing the viability of working models designed to implement conservation methods. So Michael and I designed a successful proposal for a solar array that was capable of powering a dive boat that would operate solely on electric power. So to do so, we observed the amount of kilowatt production from photovoltaic cells installed on campus while analyzing data from a system that monitored electricity consumption on the school grounds to further understand the average utilization. Next, we researched other potential models that were already available on the market, along with their costs, to decide which design was the most efficient. So at the end of my time there, the proposal obtained over $250,000 in grants among completion, and the construction for the electric dive boat was completed after I returned home to Michigan in 2016. And by December 3rd, 2015, which was the day I left, I was open water scuba certified. I had completed a half marathon, and I was returning home with some of my best friends to this day. So next, during July and August of 2019, so the summer after my sophomore year of college, I got to intern with a company called Shark Explorers, which is run by professionals from National Geographic. It's located in Cape Town, South Africa, and the people that work there are the people that run Shark Week. So along with 5 other interns, I got to research great white shark habitats while working to improve the safety of Cape Town residents through education and non-lethal mitigation methods. We also got to lead clients from around the world on shark diving excursions that focused on the importance of marine conservation, as well as conducted water sampling to test and compare the water quality of several aquatic ecosystems in False Bay. So during my second semester in my junior year of college, I decided to study abroad in Sydney, Australia. However, classes in Sydney did not start until late February, so I had some time to travel beforehand. So 3 of my friends and I traveled to Southeast Asia, and we spent a month between Bangkok, Chiang Mai, Phuket, and Bali. And while we were there, we were able to hike through the mountains with elephants that had been saved from just abusive excursions and attractions in the area. We got to hike and swim in waterfalls. We got to visit dozens of temples, and we even got to meditate with Thai monks who taught us the basics of Buddhism. So after leaving Asia, I studied abroad at the University of New South Wales in Sydney, Australia, and my classes there focused on marine biology and ecology. But unfortunately, after less than a month, we were sent home due to COVID, and we finished all of our classes online. So I was there not too long, but it was still a great experience. So for the future, after graduating from the University of Michigan in less than 2 weeks, I am going to be attending Northeastern University in Boston, Massachusetts this fall to obtain a Master of Science degree in Environmental Science and Policy. And yeah, that's all I have for tonight. So I just wanted to open it up in case anybody had any questions. And then I'll stop sharing my screen.
And we muted everybody during the presentation, so you have to unmute if you want to ask a question.
How did the
Hi, this is
how
go
did
ahead.
the great white shark study work out? It sounded like was the goal there to put together educational materials to sort of educate the landlubbers about swimming when there's sharks in the area and that kind of thing? What, how did that come out?
Yeah, so the place I stayed was called Simonstown, which is in Cape Town. If you've ever seen Shark Week, there's the island that they call Seal Island, which is one of the most populated great white shark areas in the world. So that's about a 10-minute boat ride from where we were staying. And so there's a lot of shark attacks that happen in the area. So part of what we were doing was teaching local Cape Town residents about how to spot unsafe conditions before you're going in the water, what to do if you find yourself in the water with a shark and things like that. But the majority of what we were doing was the great whites had actually, after over 20 years, disappeared that year from the area. So we were trying to figure out why they weren't there and why because they traveled about 2 hours north. So we were trying to figure out what made them leave the area they had been in for the past 20 years.
Did you figure anything out, or did they figure anything out?
They are still working on the subject right now. Part of it was because overfishing from Australia in the region was taking their food source. So they were having to move to find other fish to prey on.
So what do you do when there are sharks in the water when you're swimming?
Basically get out. There was just a lot of it was trying to encourage people to go to higher land to look for fins and any dark shadows moving in the water. But once you're in the water, it's a little bit of a fight or flight situation, I'll be honest.
Okay.
Jason has his hand up. If you want to raise your hand, you can go down on the bottom bar and it says reactions. And if you click on that, one of the things you can do is raise your hand. Go ahead,
Thanks.
Jason.
Thank you very much. I was wondering whether or not what your impression is about most of the students that you've come in contact with. Do you think most young people are concerned about the environment, or it's not a concern? And are you optimistic?
I personally am optimistic. I think I have a little bit of bias just because of the majority of students that I'm surrounded with are also studying environmental science. So I am optimistic due to the way that they, I think a lot of young people are a little bit nervous for the future, but still optimistic. I think students studying other majors that just aren't as familiar with all of the environmental science, just like background, they are not so much, it's not that they don't care, it's just that they don't know. So I think that we need to work harder to encourage more people to become involved with things like Sierra Club and other organizations, just to bring awareness to the issue.
Thank you.
Paityn, if you had to pick a favorite experience, first of all, what an amazing life you've had already. Imagine when she's twice the age she is now, what she will have to tell us about. Out of all those experiences, could you pick a favorite?
Definitely the island school. That was probably the best 3 months of my life. Like, it was just so insane. So many cool experiences, and I still have a group of friends that are still my best friends, even though they're all over the US right now.
When you go there now, if a student was to go there now, do they still take the cell phones away and not let them have internet access?
Yeah, so they pick 1 or 2 people from the high schools that they're getting applications from, and they do that on purpose so that you're not coming with people that you already know. So their whole reasoning behind that is by taking away your phone and your internet access, because you have your laptop, but you're just working on like Word or Pages, is so that you're like completely in the moment with everyone that's around you. So then you form these great bonds, because I know if I had my phone and been able to talk to all my friends from high school and like my family and everything like that, I definitely wouldn't have become as close with the other people that were down there.
I always wondered what would happen if you had a group of teenagers nowadays and took away their phone.
Yeah. Yep. As soon as we got off the plane, they took them, put them in a little baggie, wrote our name on it in Sharpie, and we never saw them again until the last day.
And I have one more question about the island school. on your slide, it said sailed across the Atlantic Ocean, but you didn't mention that, I don't think.
Yeah, so my year was the first year that they allowed us to do it, and then they took it away right after. But they would have us all do a sea kayaking excursion for 8 days. And while you did that, you spent 48 hours alone on an island, kind of like Survivor. They gave you a bagel, a piece of cheese, hold on one second, some water, a tarp, and I think sunscreen and bug spray, and that was it. And you kind of just had to like sit there and reflect. So we did that, and then right after we had not eaten and were fried by the sun for 48 hours, we had to sail 13 hours across the Exuma Sound, and we got caught in a terrible storm and almost had to get helicoptered out. It was really bad. So they stopped the sail right after that, but they still do the sea kayaking.
Well, who else has a question? I don't see any hands up. Just sing it out. Just sing it out. I want to stay proud. Go ahead. Go ahead.
What jobs are available for someone with an environmental degree?
So a lot of people not a lot, but there's a good amount of people that go on to earn their PhD. But with a master in environmental science and policy, I'm hoping to work with large companies in their sustainability departments and work with them to be more environmentally conscious.
If you could land with your dream company, what company would it be?
National Geographic for sure, but that's a little biased too.
We had an author and photographer from National Geographic. Tom Kleins was our presenter about a year ago.
Okay, I worked with Brock Maxey, and then Allison Koch is one of the main women who's always on TV for Shark Week. She's the blonde, she was really cool. Her and then her husband, Mornay Hardenberg, were the people I worked with.
I wanted to share with Paityns teachers and parents and family members how proud we are of her, because it's been a dream for years in the Huron Valley group that we would have a U of M student affiliate, and it just never happened. And then Nancy Schiffler up there hooked us up with something called Earth Week, and we attended virtually, and we were supposed to meet with students that might be interested in our group, and only one student came, and it was Paityn. But what a good find.
Oh yeah.
Because she had the whole thing lined up about 2 weeks later with how many members?
There's over 100 right now.
It's unbelievable.
What made you decide on Northeastern to get your MBA?
I really like the East Coast. I wanted to be closer to the ocean. I've lived in Michigan my whole life, so I was just ready to have a change from Ann Arbor and live in a bigger city.
That's a good reason. I actually have a brother-in-law that's an environmental engineer.
Okay.
So he's real big into. He taught at Virginia Tech. He got his PhD at Purdue. He taught at Virginia Tech, and now he still consults for them and goes and travels to Tanzania and various places.
I have a question for Paityns teachers. Do you have a lot of other students just like Paityn coming through the pipeline?
We got some great students. I don't think we've had anybody quite as ambitious as Paityn. All right, I'm taking my junior year and I'm gonna let somebody lock my cell phone away. Like when I found out that happened, I thought that would be very traumatic for Paityn. She'd want to come home, but she has just been super exceptional and just such a great example of what we're really looking forward to in kind of that younger generation kind of taking on this cause. But we do have a lot of great students at our school. And I would say that there's also a lot of students that are very aware of a lot of these environmental issues and that are kind of really kind of ready to kind of take over and hopefully solve some of these big problems that they've been left with.
Yes.
Well, all I can say for that is thank goodness.
Yes, I agree.
Avery, you want to tell us something? Peyton's proud mom. You're muted. You're muted.
Okay. Yeah, obviously I'm very, very proud of Paityn. And she wasn't very happy with me that I shared the link to this meeting this evening, but you know, it's one of those things you don't really understand until you're a parent, and you know, you just want to share how proud you are. And I'm very proud of her. And I'm not going to get all emotional, but it's an emotional time just that she's graduating from college and she's going on to pursue her master's. And I just couldn't be more proud. So, but she has always been very driven, dedicated, just like she was saying earlier about how just from an early age, she knew exactly what she wanted to do. And she has definitely followed her dream and followed her path. And yeah, I just can't wait to see what happens in the future for her. So yeah, I'm very proud.
I think the rest of us feel the same way, and congratulations. Congratulations. Any more comments or questions before we wrap up? Paityn, is your chinchilla there?
She is. She's not out of her cage right now. She's across the room. She's sleeping since she's nocturnal.
Is she going to go to Boston?
I don't know. Depends on if I can find an apartment that would let me have her there, but
If not, she can just come back to our house and join the 7 other pets, right?
All right. Let's give our presenter Paityn Wedder some appreciation.
Oh yeah.
all right. Yeah, thank you guys for coming, and thank you everyone for your nice words. I really appreciate it.
And good luck on the East Coast. I'm from the East Coast originally, so, but Maryland and Pennsylvania, that area. So
Yeah.
good luck.
Okay. All my cousins are from Pennsylvania.
Oh, really? Whereabouts?
An hour away from Pittsburgh.
Okay, yeah, and I lived in York and Lancaster. But yeah, so I think you'll like it. I don't know. I've been to Boston one time, but I don't really know much about it. But I think you'll like it.
All right. Well, thank you. And thank you, everyone.
Yeah,
else.
and thank you.
Thank you for sharing with us.
Yeah.
Yes.
Don't be a stranger, Paityn. Stay in touch. And
I will.
we'll probably be reading about you in the newspaper before too many more years.
Okay.
Yeah.
In a good way, I mean. Congressperson or president or something. Stay safe, everybody.
Thanks.
Thank you.